What's up everyone, Vitaly here, and in this video I'm going to be sharing with you some awesome Pinterest SEO tips that you can use to potentially get more growth for the pins that you create, whether it be getting more impressions, more saves for those clicks, whether it be potentially getting more outbound clicks from Pinterest to your website so you can grow your website traffic. These Pinterest SEO tips are awesome. I learned them from a person named Tony Hill, who I happen to believe is one of the leading authorities on the subject. I highly recommend his work and his programs. I'll talk about it briefly throughout this video, but here's an example of a pin that I created that applies these Pinterest SEO tips, and here they are over here. Now, in terms of results, I have quite a bit to show. So the thing is, I've been applying these Pinterest SEO tips for about almost 2 months now, and let me just give you a quick rundown of the results that I've been getting. So in the past 2 months, you've seen there's a huge growth in outbound clicks, and also I'm starting to see much more impressions and saves happening with the pins that I've created. But in the beginning of last year, I was seldom doing Pinterest SEO, not as much as I am right now, and I was basically seeing some results by creating a lot of pins and beautiful looking ones, so that was kind of compensating for it, but it was pretty exhausting. And I was seeing the steady growth, especially in September and October of last year, because I create pins on the subject of nature, because I have a nature website, so I try to get as much traffic from Pinterest to my website so I can get more money from that. Here's some of the earnings reports for that. But basically what I did was I was using the whole subject of creating a lot of pins and leading them back to my website to grow my traffic. I was seeing good results, and then after October it died down because one of the main subjects contributing to this growth was fall foliage pins, and fall foliage doesn't last forever, it's a seasonal thing, and so after November it just dies out, and so I felt like I dropped back to square one, and I was like, I can't keep creating pins in masses every single day. It's exhausting. I have other things I need to do for my online business. So I started exploring new things. I learned about Tony Hill, the way that he teaches Pinterest SEO, and I've been applying his tips, and the results are speaking for themselves. And this is growth happening in a period where most of the pins that I create are not even in popular periods. So the location, the topics of the actual pins that I create haven't even hit their peak season popularity yet, and they're already showing promise. And so these are the 7 tips, and let me just quickly go through how I apply these 7 tips to this sample pin that uses all of them. So here I have a pin on the subject of best Oregon coast hikes to explore. So the first thing is, when it comes to the Pinterest SEO checklist, target keyword in the pin itself. It's a TOBI pin. A TOBI pin is a pin that has text over background image. So this is text over images. So the keyword that I'm targeting here is Oregon coast hikes. That's the keyword, and so that's the first one that is we can check that off. The second one is target the keyword in the pin title. Oregon coast hikes is in here, so that's good. The next one is target keyword in the pin description plus other annotated keywords as well. I'll explain what annotated keywords are, but in terms of the main keyword, Oregon coast hikes is over here, at least one, so that's filled in, that's good. Then the next one is target keyword on the website you want to link the pin to, so the link goes to a post on my website on Oregon coast hikes. Let me just double check that to show you how this works. So like I said before, I have a nature-based website. Yeah, it says 10 over here, but this is just an old post I uploaded. I updated the title, Oregon coast hikes, so it's also mentioned here, so that is filled in. Then I also have tagged keyword topics, closer directly enough, so these are the tagged topics down here. I found 2 of them, one for the Oregon coast, which is relevant to this pin, and hiking trail, which is also relevant to this pin. Sometimes you'll find tagged topics that are like right spot on with the subject itself. Sometimes you'll find them closely related. So either or works. In this case, close enough is good enough. And so that is the next one. Then I also do target the keyword in the alt text. So if I scroll down over here where it says more options, if you click the down arrow, it'll open up a box where you can type in some alt text that describes the image. And this is another opportunity to enter the target keyword in there, which is Oregon coast hikes. So it's in there as well. This is something I wrote manually. And finally, the last one is save the pin to a board with the keyword. So I created a board called Oregon coast hikes, and that's what it's going to save it to. And so that is it. That's how I do Pinterest SEO pretty much every single time. I have some pins here that don't have, let me just refresh this page, that don't have text over background image, but that's okay. I like to mix it up. Most of the ones that I create do have them, but they all follow the same Pinterest SEO tips that I gave you over here. Now, if this is good enough for you and you understand the context behind all these things, you can go ahead and start doing this and see what your results are. But if you are interested in like more context of how I actually set this up, I'm going to go through the whole thing right now with you so you can follow the step-by-step guide. Now, real quick before I get into that, let me also mention that I will leave a few links below this video. One of them will be to a program called PinClicks, which I happen to think, which is made by Tony Hill. I highly recommend it. It actually expedites this process and makes it way easier. You can do what I teach you here for free, but the PinClicks program makes it way faster, way easier, and makes you way more efficient with Pinterest in general. So I'm going to leave a link to that. I'm also going to leave a link to a resource that'll teach you about how to make money online if that's what you're looking how to do. I do this for a living. Here's some of my income reports. I showed you some other ones earlier, but I do have a wide range of experience on the subject of making money online, affiliate marketing, and all that stuff. So you can check out the free resource. It's a very good beginner-friendly guide that'll teach you the baseline stuff, the fundamentals of what it takes to succeed and help you get started with this. So those are the links that I'll leave. I'm someone who makes money online full-time. You're welcome to check out my channel as well for other content on Pinterest and other stuff as well. But moving forward, back into the main thing. Let's say that you just got started with this and you somewhat understand the context behind this checklist, but not fully. Maybe you're completely new to Pinterest. How do you get started? So let's start first off with, I created this step-by-step guide over here that'll help you with this. But before you get into the step-by-step guide, there's two things that you need to do this. The first thing you need is a Pinterest account, which is free, and you also need to have a website that you link your pins to. So in my case, I have both of these things, and so in your case, you're going to want to have that as well. But the first step is whatever subject your website is based on, you're going to want to make pins on that subject. So my website is based on the subject of nature, and so I create nature-based pins. There's a lot of different locations, popular locations that I link to. So when the first step comes in, find a popular keyword and make a TOBI pin for it. That's simple. I have a website on nature. One of my popular posts is Oregon Coast hike, so naturally that's a popular keyword, so I have that down. In terms of how to make the Pinterest pin, I'm going to leave a link to a video that shows you how I do that very quickly, how I make them look very professional. It's simple to do. I just don't want to make this video longer than it should be. So you can check that out as an extra supplement to this tutorial. Then the next thing is you want to find 3 popular pins ranking for the target keyword. Now the way that you do that is you have to go into Pinterest in a logged out page. So I'm in Chrome right now and I'm logged into my Pinterest account, and if I do a search for something like Oregon Coast hikes, I'm going to get very filtered results to my personal interests, so they're not going to be clear-cut. I'm not going to really see what the most popular ones are. Pinterest shows you more neutral, popular to less popular pins if you look up the same keyword on a not logged in. So you can log out of Pinterest and do it there. I just like to do it on a different browser, so I'm going to go into Edge. You can use another browser that's fitting for you where you're not logged in, like you can see over here. And if I do a search for Oregon Coast hikes, these 3 pins from left to right are the most popular. This is actually mine right here that's popping up. That's really cool. But I want to take these 3 and collect what's known as the annotated interest. So if I click on this pin over here, you're going to notice these gray areas over here. These are called annotated interests. And these annotated interests are basically keywords that Pinterest deems that these pins show up for. And these are the ones that I'm going to want to highlight, copy and paste into a notepad file, Google Sheets, whatever you choose to do. But I'm going to do all of them here. You can actually click on this arrow to collect all of them. Then I'm going to do the same thing for this one. You're going to get a lot of duplicates sometimes as well, and this one as well. You just need 3, maybe 2 or 3 sometimes, but you're going to collect a lot of annotated interest. Then you're going to want to filter them out, and I'll show you in a moment what this looks like. I'm going to pause this video for just a second, show you the annotated interest here and how I filter them out. Okay, so I took the annotated interest, and there's like maybe 30 of them or something like that, and I narrowed them down to these ones that are most relevant to Oregon Coast hikes. So Oregon Coast road trip, Southern Oregon Coast things to do, Highway 101 road trip Oregon, which is the coastal highway, Cannon Beach, Oregon, which is on the coast, Oregon Coast hikes, which is the most relevant annotated interest. It's a keyword. And so I recommend that when you do annotated interest that you try to stick to under 10, because you don't want to spam them too much, and some of them can be completely irrelevant. Like some of the keywords there were like West Coast road trip that I found, the annotated interest, and that really isn't close enough to Oregon Coast hikes or the Oregon Coast in general. So you want to try to be as relevant as possible because you want your pin to appear for the most relevant related annotated interest. And so these are the keywords that I took, and so the next thing is once I filter them out, I will then go into the next part of the step-by-step guide, which is I use ChatGPT to make a title and description targeting the keyword, in this case Oregon Coast hikes or hikes in Oregon, Coast, and have it also include the annotated keywords too. So I'm going to go into ChatGPT. You can use this for free, and I basically said, create a Pinterest title and description for the keyword 11 best Oregon hikes, 11 best Oregon coast hikes, and use these keywords, which are the same keywords that I got the annotated interest from. And this is what it came up with: the title that uses the keyword Oregon coast hikes. And then it actually took these keywords and inserted them into a great description. And that's how I got all of this. And I basically copied over whatever was here in the title into the title over here, and the description from here to this description here. So that's how I do that. Now, the next part of the step is save the pin to a board with a keyword in it. And so that's what I did. I created a board called Oregon Coast Hikes. And so if I make any future Oregon Coast Hikes pins, I'll also use the same keywords, but I'll make different descriptions and titles which still have the keyword Oregon Coast Hikes in it, and I'll save it to the same board. Then after that, I also basically did try to find 1 to 2 tag topics related closely or related to the pin topic, and I showed you how that works. Where it says tag topics, I typed in Oregon Coast. This popped up as a tag topic, so it's closely related, and hiking trail also popped up. You don't need to spam this. 1 or 2 is enough. I've also heard people say that tag topics are useless, but I still like to do this from time to time. So there's at least 2 over here which are relevant to this pin. Then the next step is alt text optional. It's an optional thing, but I do like to set it up sometimes, which is target the keyword too. So I showed you that before in this video. I clicked on more options and I added this pictures of Oregon coast hikes. So that's how I did that. Now, I will highly recommend that you use a tool called PinClicks, because PinClicks actually is a program created by Tony Hill to basically make this whole process way easier. And just to give you a quick example of what it looks like, if I go into keyword research and I type in Oregon coast, it's going to give me a list of keywords that pop up and the volume of searches that they have. So I already know that they're popular, but I'm specifically looking for hikes. So I'm going to filter this out to show me hikes. And it says Oregon coast hikes. It says 182, but this is also seasonal. So this can rise up really high, like in the spring or summer. I'll click on see top pins, and this helps me collect the annotated interest way quicker. I filter this out for positions 1 and 2. So this filters it to which are the most popular ones, which could be a little bit different than what you see over here, but I would say this is more accurate. But this does cost money. You can do a 5-day trial with PinClicks. I'll leave a link to it below this video. It also comes with a course to more comprehensively teach you what I'm showing you here. But basically, if you hover over these images, you can click on copy, and it'll copy all of these annotated interests without you highlighting it, all of that stuff, and then you can sort that out yourself. I save a lot of time and energy with PinClicks, but this is the one that I use, and it helps me be more targeted with the keywords that I target because it shows me what's popular. But anyway, that is how I do Pinterest SEO. Again, I'm going to leave this checklist. You can also use this step-by-step guide as well. Like I said before, I will also include a step-by-step guide on making money online, starting an online business, which you're welcome to check out. It's very beginner friendly, teaches you the baseline fundamentals that you need to succeed with this, as well as a link to a PinClicks review that talks about how I use that. And overall, I hope that this video was helpful. The checklist can really help you do potentially a lot with Pinterest. So I really hope that this video was helpful. If you have any questions, I encourage you to ask me below in the comments section. But other than that, I will see you all in the next video. And before we finish up, I'm going to publish this pin. All right, and then I'm going to continue the same thing, and this is what I do every single day. So thanks for watching again, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care, everyone.